Andrew Tate.
Okay.
This is a touchy one.
I have mixed feelings about Tate now.
Yeah.
I have mixed feelings about him now, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do. Because like I think that when people in your life or nowadays people online, you should take what you like and leave what you don't. And there are a lot of things that he says I think is an important message to hear. Like, okay, I like what he's saying there. And then some else will say, I'm like, I don't really agree with that at all. I don't know if that's just like a game or act, but like if somebody interprets that the wrong way, like his misogyny stuff, if somebody interprets that the wrong way or doesn't know he's joking, then that could like kind of like dilute somebody's mindset, like an incel type vibe when they don't get no girls. Now they think that every girl is just a gold digger, blah blah blah, which is completely not true. There's a lot of great girls out there, man.
Yeah, of course.
Quality women out there, man. But to your point, society's a little bit softer now, man. And so when a guy comes, a big, strong man, Andrew Tate comes, cigar smoking, Bugatti driving guy comes around here, people don't like to see that.
Did you see the Bugatti outside?
The Bugatti outside?
Yeah.
No. What?
Silver Bugatti outside?
There's not a silver Bugatti outside. Really? What color is your Bugatti? Silver?
When I bought my car, I posted that.
Yeah.
I posted a picture of it and I said, "What color is your Bugatti?"
I ain't gonna lie, Tate was hella funny, bro.
Yeah.
Tate is hella funny, bro. But he's in jail right now.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of like made me change my opinion, because like he has allegations of like, you know, human trafficking and you know, other stuff that that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's true, I can't rock with somebody like that.
Exactly,
you know
100%.
I hope it's not, because that means people got taken advantage of. I really hope it's not true. But if it is, you know what I'm saying, he's going to have to get, you know, that's going to be dealt with in the Romanian court system, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that one thing I will say, and I guess I can't really have an opinion on it because Romania is different from America.
It
but
is.
At least how I've followed it is that he hasn't been formally charged with anything.
Yeah,
they
he
keep
hasn't.
denying bail or like him being released. And I think in Romania you can do that for up to
6 months.
Yeah.
180 days.
Exactly. So
Crazy.
I can look at it and be like, that seems unjust because he hasn't been charged with anything. But then at the same time, it's a different country, so I have to kind of be neutral on that. But in terms of just like general,
It's kind of like a Brittany Griner situation almost, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Like when she got 9.5 years or whatnot, we're sitting here and saying that's effed up. Now
Right,
I thought that was
for a
kind of
little bit of weed, you know what I mean?
Exactly. I thought that was kind of hypocritical from the government because you got people in this country who have been locked up for weed, and I'm like, y'all are funny. But then at the exact same time, you guys are like super duper like focused on this, which you should because it's a serious thing. But I thought that was a bit hypocritical from them. But I mean, that I don't expect anything different from the government, so I was like, whatever. But
it's because it was Russia doing it. That was the issue.
Exactly. That's the problem. Is that because it was another government locking somebody up for weed for a long time, it's a problem. But when we do it, it's fine. That's usually how hypocrisy works.
That's how exactly.
Yeah. So I'm like, whatever. I'm like, they're so hilarious. But in terms of like general thoughts about him, like, because he kind of got popular really, really fast and real forcefully. Like like one day I just saw him everywhere, shorts, like TikTok, YouTube, everywhere, and he just kind of popped off, and I'm like, you know, whatever, you know, scrolling, and then I can't get away from him because he keeps popping up everywhere, like freaking, I don't know, all this stuff, and I'm like, all right, fine, I'll see what he's about. So, at any point, whenever you did that, whenever you like kind of looked into him, what was your like initial thought of him, and then maybe how did it like evolve as time went on?
That's a good question, man. I'll get a little personal here, a little vulnerable here.
Yeah.
So when I first came across Tate, I was in like a really like not really in the best of like mental state. You know, I was fresh off like my accident, so I had like a lot of things going on, like court stuff going on, things I was dealing with, XYZ. Had to get a full-time job while working in school just to pay for my lawyer fees. A lot of things going on. I was feeling really down on myself, like feeling a lot of shame, all that negative emotions. But when I came across his videos, man, it was like the first ones I came across were his funny ones, where he's like talking stuff about only pussies drive Teslas. Why would you drive a Tesla for? Ooh, my electric car, let me charge it. And I was like, okay, that's making me laugh. I'm having a good time now. And then like, you know how it is, like it's like almost like he infected your phone. Like anytime you see, it's gonna be him doing something else, smoking a cigar, doing whatever. And then as I started watching more, he started talking about as far as the mindset, manhood, and the kind of mentality you need to survive in this world as a man. Because in the day, nobody's going to come and save you. Yeah. And I really believe in that. And I think that's a message a lot of people need to hear. Yeah. Because once you start taking personal accountability in your life, it puts you in the driver's seat of your own life.
Yeah.
And I think that provides a lot more happiness because you feel more in control.
Yeah.
I think a lot of depression is like when bad things are happening to you that you have no control over and you don't see an end to it. That's, I think, is when like a lot of like negative emotions happen and you can spiral into mental illness. So for me, man, he was really able to help me see a different perspective, get out of my own head and start doing actions to improve my situation. And he motivated me to do that. And I have to give him his flowers for that because I'm sure it was the same for a lot of different people. But I wouldn't be being authentic to myself if I didn't say that a lot of his takes on women are super aggressive. Because there's tons of women that, you know, can go out there and compete with men as far as like in the business world and like the tech world and like different kind of entrepreneurial straits. And they shouldn't be put into a box of like stay home, cook and clean sandwich type of thing. They shouldn't be put into that box. So because and if they do want to do that, that's fine too. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that women are all this or all that. Putting people in boxes that we discussed earlier isn't good because like it's like a false notion of perception, and that can misguide your thinking of who they are. And I think Tate's problem is that he puts women in boxes about who they are, and I don't think anybody should be told who they have to be or what they have to do. That's their individual choice. Yeah. So that's my pro and con of Tate. That's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I think that I mean, I guess to kind of piggyback off of it. When I came across him, it was kind of the same thing where it was like, it's still like during like COVID or whatnot. So I'm at home, I'm taking online classes and all I'm doing is doing that and going to work. And at that point I kind of felt lost. Yeah. I'm like I don't know, like my life, I just kind of see him in, I feel like I'm in this weird gray area. And when I kind of stumbled upon him, I'm like, you know, I was kind of annoyed at first because I'm like, bro, get off my freaking thing. Like I'm trying to watch something else and you keep popping up. But then I'm like, whatever, fine, I'll watch. And, you know, it was some funny stuff or whatnot. But then, like I said, I started watching, like, I'll like see his like clips on like Fresh and Fit or something like that. And I'm thinking like, man, like a lot of the stuff that he's saying is true, but then I just kind of got confused. I'm like, well, but why is this making him famous? And then I started to go into it more, and then I don't know, just that, and then just some more stuff. I just kind of felt like I was coming into myself. I looked at it and I'm like, why is him saying, hey, go to the gym? Why does that get so many views? Why is him saying, hey, you know, like, work on yourself? Why does that get so many views? I'm like, these seem like very simple concepts. Right. And then I looked at it and I'm like, putting all the stuff aside that he says that is crazy, because I think we can both agree that he says about a lot of crazy stuff. Now, some of it can just be because he's an entertainer,
being
or whatnot.
A character.
Exactly. So he knows what can get views and goes viral or whatnot.
Exactly.
And all creators do that. So putting that aside, I'm looking at this and I'm like, there's no reason that a guy should come along and say, go to the gym or make sure that you're good enough to be able to provide for your woman or do all these things.
Put down
like
the video game. Stop smoking weed. Yeah.
That should be common sense. Right. Why is it going viral? And then I kind of looked at society and I'm like, society is watering down masculinity and what it means to be a man. And the issue is that when you state that, once again, people put a label on you because they think that you're talking about something else. So if I say that, you know, if I'm talking about masculinity or whatnot, somebody will think that I'm talking about, like, I don't know, like gay people or the LGBTQ community, and I'm trying to hate on them because I've had a conversation about that where I'm talking about, like, what it means to be a real man. Oh, well, you know, if you're gay, does that mean you're not a real man or whatever? That's not. I never said anything about that at all. I'm saying for males who want to be men and who want to do quote unquote manly things, that is being watered down because they're being called misogynist, which I have a problem with that term. Not because I don't think that it's not real. I just think that if you say it too many times, no one really knows what it means anymore. So anytime that a man wants to do manly things or he wants to be masculine and he's labeled a misogynist, it's like, well, are you just saying that because you really have no basis for an argument to hit him with on any certain topic? You're just calling him it because it's the first one in your arsenal.
You're saying something you don't like.
Exactly. So it's hard to identify the real misogynist because now everybody's a misogynist. Right. So
yeah, exactly. Lose the power of the word.
Exactly. Yeah, like any word. Racism
It's
is
a kind of similar
exactly
thing.
everything is racist. How can you identify what's actually what's objectively racist?
We know it's a theory that everything actually is racist.
Seriously,
Like institutional racism, systemic
oh well,
racism,
yeah,
like it's
that
embedded
yeah.
into everything. But like, I think that's different than like person to person.
Yeah,
racism.
exactly. Like individual situations.
Yeah, or individual misogyny.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And I really agree with you because the question that you're asking is like, why did Andrew Tate become so popular, right?
Yeah.
Why? I mean, it's because like to your point, there is no real like masculine role models for the youth.
Yeah.
Throughout coming up in like high school, fucking even after high school and stuff, like college years, young men have been told for 5, 6, 7 years that we're toxic. Our natural instinct is toxic, and what we're doing is the reason why we have any problem in society is due to things that we have done or our nature at our core.
Yeah.
And that's the way it's received. I don't know if that's like what they're trying to tell us, but that's the way it comes across.
Yeah.
So if you tell somebody that everything you're doing is wrong, but you don't provide a template or a roadmap to how to do it right, you're setting them up for failure.
Yeah.
So like we gotta have, to your point, man, it's gotta be some sort of conversation about what manhood is.
Yeah.
How can we reinvent it to fit modern society without like compromising, what we know our values are.
Exactly. And regardless of how progressive the world wants to get in terms of people being literally whatever it is that they want to be, because I'm losing track at this point, so I try not to even really think about it too much. That doesn't take away from the fact that femininity and masculinity still exist.
Yeah.
Even in the midst of every other identification known to man now, those things still exist, and I still believe that they are the foundation for any society as a whole. Even if they branch off and identify as other things,
right?
It, in my opinion, it always starts there because we didn't get here. We only got here through women, and women only were able to make that happen with the joining of a man or a male, if you want to be more technical. That's the foundation for everything that we have. So the fact that it's like kind of trying to be pushed out because it's looked at as oppressive because people want to be masculine or people want to be feminine, that is a problem because like people, the vast majority of people who grow up and who kind of live out their life, they will do it in feminine and masculine ways. As a male, the vast majority of males are going to go through their whole lives as boys, young men, and men. They're going to need to know how to provide. They're going to need to know how to take care of business. They're going to need to know how to do all of those things. In terms of women, the vast majority of females, they're going to go through their lives as girls, young women, and they're going to need to know how to be rooted in their femininity in order to be effective in this life. So to kind of assert that those classifications are oppressive because it might box people into a certain thing or whatnot is detrimental in the sense that you are inadvertently not teaching people how to be men, how to be women. And I look at him and he's saying all these things that just are common sense and they're going viral. And like I said, I looked at it and I'm like, bingo. It's because masculinity is being watered down so much to the point where a guy who came along and said common sense stuff like go to the gym gets 1 million views on a video.
Because nobody's saying that anymore.
Exactly. Everybody's scared to because they're going to be canceled or labeled toxic or called all these other things or whatnot. And I'm like, well, he comes along and he just motivated a bunch of young men to go to the gym. At least that part of him, is nothing wrong with it. And I look at society, I look at all societies, and maybe this will be a little bit controversial, but I mean, this is just a view that I have. I feel like at least the foundation of society is built off the backs of men. Yeah. Simply because if you look at architecture, if you look at a lot of businesses that are ran, not saying that females can't run businesses, but a lot of businesses that have been created, a lot of architecture, a lot of the foundations of society, they're created by men, right? Houses being built, vast majority of them are probably built by men, and not because it's such a fun job. Those are taxing jobs on your body and your mind, yet they're the ones who are doing it. So if you are watering down this idea of what it means to be a man, you are stripping away a valuable asset to society. Therefore, shit just starts hitting the fan, right? I don't remember the last time a war ensued and it wasn't men on the front lines. And war is not glamorous. It shouldn't be a thing of, it's oppressive that, only men are going to war. Well, no, because it's
responsibility.
Exactly. You're not having a picnic with the enemy. You're going and you're putting your life on the line to protect the freedoms of the country that you reside in, those are men going and doing that. It has been historically, and probably for the rest of human history, it will probably be predominantly men on the front lines fighting, because they're the ones who
hope so. Shit.
Exactly.
On week 1, why would I want to send like my sister, my mom, my daughter into
exactly? I wouldn't think twice of going to a war if it was between my mom and my sister and me. If it was like, all right, one of you guys has to go, say no more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do it, because that's not like playing in the NBA. I'm not playing a game. I'm fighting for my life. And
women play a crucial role in like military as well too. Like there are a lot of different. It's not just like being on the front lines. There's also people that are like behind the scenes, maybe like handling logistics, handling things that because mentally
nurses are important too.
Nurses are important too. Anybody could be a nurse. Like I think that the point you made was really cool, interesting about like men built the world essentially. Women built the world together. I hate when we do this like us versus them thing, because we're at our best when we're together.
Exactly.
So like that has to be the message, but it's hard to deliver that message when you feel like you're being attacked. And men get attacked a lot, man. But it's just kind of like we have to recognize that that in order to progress further, we have to do it together.
Yeah.
I think we're encroaching to a new era in time where like back in the day people used to be farmers and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And men having like the natural ability to be like strong and fit. It's advantageous for men to do the farming. It just makes more sense. It's more efficient. In the industrial age, right? Industrial revolution, working in factories, men can work the longer hours. Their bodies can handle it. Things like that. That made more sense. But now we're approaching the information age. Yeah. Data, technology, all that stuff. Physical strength is not really important in that. It's your mental ability, your emotional intelligence, your mental capacity, and those things is basically level playing field between men and women. So I think that is kind of where this idea of like creating more equity and equality is coming from, because if we limit ourselves to just men doing everything or men running society, we're taking, that's 50% of the population of like smart, intelligent people that we're not getting any value from.
Exactly.
So it's like we have to empower women while not taking away from man. Yeah. And that's a delicate balance, because right now women are getting empowered, which is a great thing. But men like, do we have to shit on men? Do we have to, what I'm saying? Does it have to always be the shit on men aspect of it?
Exactly.
It's an interesting paradigm, man. Because a lot of other countries, it's not like this. It is in America. It's still like the gender roles are very heavy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wife stay inside. You know what I'm saying? She creates a great home for you. You come home, boom. She takes care of the family. Bada boom, bada bing. But even in those countries, the women don't really want that anymore. They kind of want to be more free and more able to do what they want to do. Yeah. So it's interesting, man, because like masculinity, I think, is about, in the day, creating safety and protecting and providing, right? So you can't protect somebody if you don't understand them.
Exactly. That's a good point. I think that a lot of people, and maybe it's just this country, we have so much freedom compared to like the next country over. And I think a lot of the times,
like Mexico,
Mexico, Canada, just a bunch of other places. Yeah. It's not, and I think I was just speaking in general.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're not saying literally next over. Okay.
Yeah, just like in the general sense. Like if I go to like,
then people got kidnapped in Mexico. You saw that?
Yeah,
I
saw.
It's crazy.
Well, what the hell is happening?
I don't know what that's about. Yeah. I think they drove to get some sort of like cosmetic surgery, to get like a cheap like Mexican surgery. Uh-huh. And somebody told me, like, bro, don't go over there. Don't drive across the border. Yeah. They did. And then like they got flagged down immediately. It's like four Americans. 2 of them got killed, bro. Yeah, just wild.
It's like I don't know. Just the whole area down there, and like I said, with people coming over is so dangerous too. Like in terms of their voyage to come over, and then some people might get in and they're bad news. It's just just like
it is. We gotta kind of get that together. We gotta make sure we know who's coming over.
Exactly. Sure I mean, oh my goodness, there's a shitstorm down there.
Can't have some random people coming over here just doing terrible things. Bro. But the cartel runs the border, bro. It's the crazy part. What are they gonna do? So, I heard this story, man. It was crazy. Like, the border security, like they have like checkpoints that come over. Mm-hmm. So basically, the border patrol, the guard, he makes maybe like what, 30, 40 grand a year, something like that. Yeah. The cartel will pay this man $50,000 a month. Give him 3 license plate numbers, and when those license plate numbers come, you don't check them. You just send them through.
Oh my gosh!
And what are you gonna do? That's 50 grand a month. What is he gonna do? That's like $600,000 a year, dog. Like he's not gonna turn that down.
Exactly, he's not turning his head.
A little bit of fentanyl.
Exactly.
I mean?
I'm like, that's fentanyl, what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. So
and nobody's making any of these people take the fentanyl. Nobody's making them do it.
Yeah. No.
This is their choice. That's why I
Personal
kind
responsibility.
of lose a little bit of sympathy for them. It sounds messed up to say that out loud, but nobody's making you take these drugs. You don't have to do that.
Exactly.
Just
That's where the personal
smoke some weed or
responsibility
something,
comes
bro.
in.
You don't got to
Yeah.
fentanyl.
Exactly.
I mean, you don't got to go that far.
Bro, they're
with
going
it,
crazy. They're going to like
crazy with it.
the absolute extreme. I saw this one cop overdose off fentanyl just by being exposed to it. Like just kind of searching somebody's car and there was fentanyl in it.
That's crazy.
And start like spazzing out. And I'm like, y'all are taking that? Like y'all are
that much?
Y'all are putting it in you.
That's
like
crazy.
Somebody got exposed and started spazzing out.
He got a secondhand OD. That's
basically,
crazy.
yeah. So I'm like, that's like the fact that y'all are putting that mug in your body, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's crazy. But
can't do that.
But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. It's difficult nowadays because whenever you're looking at the relationship between men and women, like I said, it's just, I don't know. Like, I feel like there's still value in like traditional, in like traditionalism, if you will. And what I mean by that is kind of what you said earlier. Like, let's use the farming example, right? It's like, take a man and a woman, identify who's the strongest, not to put down the other person, but just using objective observation and going based off science and biology. Who is the strongest of these two people? They probably should go do the plowing and the farming and work in the field because it just makes sense.
Right.
And then
it's not
the
about
other person who you have a house to take care of. Now you say that and it sounds offensive or oppressive, but if they do it well, especially like if they want to do it, which there's still a lot of people who want to do it because it works.
People act like that's not important. That's important too.
Exactly, like it is. And that doesn't mean that you can't help each other, but it's saying who predominantly fills those roles. The idea is not that that's oppressive, is that a man is out working and that a woman is upkeeping a house. Not everybody wants that. And to each his own, it's fine. But to demonize that and to assert that it is oppressive in some form because it's so traditional, but at the same time it works, is crazy to me. And then when I look at somebody like Andrew Tate, yes, he's going on these crazy tangents that, you know, are a bit outlandish, but at the core of some of the stuff that he says on some podcasts that I've listened to him on is that if he's not having threesomes with people, right, if he's involved with one woman, that's kind of the dynamic where he is going and he's doing whatever work he's doing, right? And it might not always be fun, it might not always be enjoyable, but he's still doing it. And then he's providing for her, so she's happy, and then she's making sure that he's good, that everything back at the base is all good, is all straight, and that he's well taken care of. That way that they're both kind of, because as he goes up, she does as well, right? Unless he's just some POS who's like, you know, take an Uber if you want to go out to dinner with me, which I don't think that that's happening. But like the traditional roles, not everybody wants them, but that doesn't mean that they're oppressive for the people who do. And publicizing it, promoting that lifestyle, there's nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with it at all.
So, like I said, that was kind of what kind of, I don't know, tipped my interest on him was this dude's getting famous off of common sense points.
Well, it seems like super common sense, yeah.
Exactly. So, I like now this whole thing about like the freaking the sex trafficking or whatever.
It's crazy he hasn't even been charged yet.
That's what I'm saying. They keep denying it, and I'm like, my issue with it is how people are kind of responding to it. It's like, okay, now Andrew Tate's a sex trafficker. Well, he hasn't been charged. Okay, well, no, Andrew Tate's not a sex trafficker. Well, you don't know that. Just kind of stay here in the middle until we figure out what has happened, because no one knows, but obviously him.
Yeah, at the very least, I think he has some sort of ties to like some sort of like criminal organization in Romania. Cause didn't he talk about like doing like casinos for the mob? Like he was
doing
something like that.
I think he owns some casinos and
right.
like bought some next to some.
So he does business with the mafia people. So maybe they're like trying to get him to flip on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I wouldn't be surprised.
So I think I don't know if he's exactly doing what they said he was doing, but it wouldn't surprise me if he had connections to people that were.
Exactly. Yeah. Which makes a lot of sense.
Because the webcam studio is like it's like in the webcam world, Romania is the #1 country for that. Like hella girls do that in Romania.
Damn, for real?
Yeah, a lot of girls. And that's how he got his money to begin with, was the webcam stuff.
Yeah, he started that, yeah.
He did. And And even and so and there's nothing illegal about doing that. Like I think that women should be able to make money off. Anybody should be able to make money off any kind of assets that they have.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever it is.
That's your way to put it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you can monetize it, go for it. Who am I to judge? And I think it's interesting that it's only coming out now.
Mm-hmm.
I was curious that because he got canceled, right?
Yeah.
And even still in that podcast, I had 3 strikes, and the second strike they'll make up some charges, and if that doesn't work, the third strike, they'll try to take me out.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's just saying it to get ahead of the beat, like he knew it was coming, he just said to say it first, or is he just literally telling y'all what's gonna happen? They're doing it anyway. Because, you know what I mean? Because he says, the Matrix, right? The government strings are trying to do that.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I don't know. The Matrix is always a weird concept to me because I don't like thinking like that because it makes me feel like I don't have control over what's going on.
Yeah.
I think I have control of things.
Yeah.
The Matrix real, you think? You think the Matrix real?
Here's how I think about it. I think that I have control, but I think that there are forces that are astronomical that are doing what they can to kind of keep things how they are. It's when people attain a certain amount of power, they want to keep that.
Yes,
and
definitely.
I feel like a good indicator of power is when you have control over people. Is when you can't directly force people to do something, but you can heavily influence them by tapping into their emotions, their fears, maybe their finances, their family, whatever the case may be. And like I said, I bring up COVID, for example. During that whole time, people were so easily influenced because, they were scared. That's an emotion. The government, I don't think that the government directly cares about my health because they don't know me. They don't know what it is that I go through. Clearly, they don't care because they try to do what it is that they did, but I think that was rooted out of we have power and we want to kind of expand on that. So
who runs the Matrix though?
That's the thing is I genuinely think that you have society, you got rich people, you got the government, and then you got the people above them. There's this concept in Batman, it's called the Court of Owls. And it's this Illuminati type group who's kind of in the shadows, so to speak, and they're running everything. All the crime that happens, they're kind of facilitating it, but nobody knows they exist. And me personally,
interesting.
I wouldn't be surprised if something like that existed, where it's the government could be just a placeholder. They could just be puppets for some other entity of people that might be pulling the strings, which to me doesn't seem far-fetched simply because people are just so easily controlled, and it's mainly at the hands of all these weird political ideologies and whatnot. You go on Twitter and you look at these people talking to each other. If you go out in real life and talk to these people, you'll probably have the most normal conversation ever. So you realize that we're more alike than we are different.
Yeah. But
so many people hate each other because they've been convinced to, but by who? These people, I don't think that it stops at them because, it's just so much that we are influenced by. I don't think it can just be them. So in that way, I do think that it might be something that exists like that, but I don't think that I feel like I'm in control of myself enough to be able to maneuver through it so I can create my own path and not be subject to it for the rest of my life.
Right. And I think that's a good point you hit on. Yeah. Being aware of it, but not letting it get you down.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Because you can say the same thing about being black in America.
Yeah.
Dealing with systemic oppression, you have to be aware of it, but at the same time, you can't let that stop you from trying to achieve something.
Exactly. It's real, but real. I don't just
and we should work to dismantle it, but at the same time, you got to do what you got to do to get ahead now.
Exactly. Because they don't care about you.
You can't change shit at the bottom.
No.
Who gonna listen to you, Brokey?
That's what I'm saying.
Listen to you.
That's what I'm saying,
listen
bro.
to you. You get some money, though. You meet the right people, make connections. You can make positive change, create a pipeline. So forget that school to prison pipeline. Create a school to success pipeline.
Exactly.
For the next generation.
Exactly.
That's where my mindset's at. Yeah. And I'll let the people complain about the things that are wrong with the world that probably are true. I'll let them do that because I don't like complaining.
Yeah.
It's negative. I don't like complaining too much. To me, it's just
it's draining.
It's just draining, bro. Yeah. What are we talking about? And that's one of the biggest things people don't realize is that embracing those negative thoughts is part of the problem.
Yeah.
Negative thoughts are healthy. You know what I mean? if somebody were to come downstairs right now with like a machine gun, you have some negative thoughts that are
Yeah.
healthy. Like, I need to get the fuck up out of here.
Exactly.
Josh, why don't you lock the door? Nah.
Exactly.
Anyway, but it's not helpful in some situations.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Maybe it's just a pizza guy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's not. It's not.
Exactly.
The boogeyman is not under the bed.
Yeah.
That's a healthy thought, but it's not helpful. I think
Yeah.
people have to distinguish those thoughts, and then talk to yourself and choose which thought you're gonna believe.
Yeah.
Because it's your choice, man. At the end of the day, it's like it's you versus you. It's a book that's like, if the most difficult, before you can master the world, you have to master your mind, master yourself. I think that's super powerful because a lot of people are just walking through life just being told what to think, told what to believe, running through the motions, but not really thinking about, why do I do what I do? Where is that coming from? And if that's coming from a person, does that person have the life that I want? Does that person have my best interests at heart? And what do I want to do that I can look back few years from now and say, okay, I like that decision. That was a winning decision.
Yeah.
Because you ain't never know if it's gonna work out for you or not. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? You never know. Like, dude, 4 years ago, I thought I was gonna be like going to med school right now, and here I am about to go into the tech world. So it's like you never know what you're gonna do.
Never know.
You can't like plan your life out in like steps like that, but you have to be open and have an idea of what you want to achieve, what you want to live by, and the kind of person you want to be.
Yeah, I think you need to have a balance,
Right.
where you have a healthy level of awareness for the future, but you also kind of balance it out with being in the moment because things can change.
Yes.
Like even right now, my life the way it is, I couldn't have guessed this because I had a completely different plan for my life, and that was a lot of what kind of got me into the bad spot that I was in. Was I was so rooted in what it is that I had set out for myself that when it didn't go that way, I felt completely lost. I'm like, I don't know where to go. I don't know where to turn to because that was my life and now it's gone. So, I mean, like, what am I doing, right? So, and that's a horrible place to be. But like I said, I think him stepping in and at least initially kind of being like, hey, F it. You're a man. Nobody cares about that. You need to get on the horse. You need to, go to the gym. You need to work on yourself. You need to find something that, like get you out of bed in the morning to do. A lot of people gravitated toward that because I feel like a lot of people, especially over the past couple years, everything is shut down. So many people are lost. And like we're relying on the government or these corporations to kind of save us.
Yeah.
When, I mean, the main person that is going to get you out of this is yourself. Right? Like, yeah, you can get some help along the way, but you're the one who's got to do 95% of the work, if not more. And, I mean, you got to do it at some point. And if you don't, I mean, you just need to be comfortable with the fact that your life is going to probably be mundane for its entirety because there's nobody else who can do it but you. Not a single person.
Nobody else will.
all.
And you will need help along the way, but nobody's going to help you out if you're not willing to help yourself first.
Exactly. Yeah. You actually have to do it.
You do.
So, and you can't get help if you're not doing it. At that point, it's somebody doing it for you, but since they're not you, they can't do it for you, really. So,
and then you don't learn the skills, you don't learn what it takes to do it, and you don't even value what you have because it just got given to you.
Exactly. Yeah. And like I said, people, especially like I said, a lot of young men, I feel like they were in that space, right? There's a lot of guys who kind of they feel it in them, right? They feel like they know what it is that they need to do or they have an idea, but they're just so nervous about what society might say or might think or whatnot that it took this dude to come along to basically tell them, hey, get on it, right? Because regardless of what people want to think, a lot of these guys are going to be fathers, they're going to be husbands, they're going to be a part of some business or whatnot. If they were coddled or if they were told that their masculinity was toxic as they were growing up, they're gonna derail whatever situation that they're in. They're gonna derail it when they get older. So if they're taught how to be a man at this age or a little bit younger, once they get to that point, they're gonna know what to do, and it's gonna be more beneficial for everybody that's around them and society as a whole. But in the interim, it's like I said, it's so oppressive because, the other stuff he says is lumped into, the stuff about, being on your stuff and being a man and whatnot.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's weird because people can't separate it.
They can't separate it.
No.
Because they see him as that.
Yeah.
And they're afraid that the people, they're afraid of the next generation actually, like, believing the things he says and, like, treating women bad and stuff like that. But me personally, bro, I don't we talk about like relationships and like relationships with women, and I don't really like I'm torn between the two, bro. Like, I don't like an overly, I guess, traditional woman. I do like someone that has like motivations for a career, ambitions for a career, because that motivates me as well. I don't want like anybody to rely on me too much, because if shit don't work out, I want you to have something of your own. That way you can still, provide for yourself.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, I want to be in the driver's seat of the relationship. I think that when there's somewhat clear roles as far as who's leading or whatever, it makes things easier.
Yeah.
And obviously, there's times where she needs to hop in the driver's seat and like, okay, this is something that you care about. We'll rock with your path on it. But I've noticed that the women that I've been around, a lot of times they don't want to make the decision. They want you to make the decision and to have to just be able to relax and trust your judgment. And I think that's a skill that a lot of men need to adopt, is being able to trust your own judgment and make a decision. That way the people around you can rock with it too.
Yeah.
Like what do you think about that? Do you think that relationships like, do you think there has to be a leader? Like, you know what I mean?
I would just kind of echo what you just said. I think that there needs to be a definitive leader, not a controller, but a leader.
Yeah. It's even hard to even sound like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
We having this conversation, we have to be super careful to not sound like we're saying, being one of those guys is like women, come here and like sandwich time, like things like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny, but I'm being real. I'm not like that, so I'm trying to communicate. But you know what I mean? I can make the decision to what sandwich we're gonna get. You know what I mean? I can say, let's go get ham. You know what I mean? We're gonna get ham and turkey. She's like, which one should we get? We're gonna get turkey. We're not gonna pick anymore. No more weighing our options. We're getting turkey. And you know what I mean? And that's not me saying she can't make this decision. Just saying like, let me take that burden off you. But you know how it is, bro. Yeah, bro. You know what I mean? I don't want to sound like that guy.
No, I feel you. Like, I mean, you're
laundry time. You know what I mean? Things like that. I ain't gonna lie, it's really nice when somebody does your laundry for you. Though. Bro. It is. She does. My girl right now, she does my laundry every single time I go over there.
Bro,
it's amazing. But she won't let me do it. She said, I don't like the way you fold clothes. You don't separate your darks and lights. I'm like, I just throw it in there.
Bro, straight up, bro. I swear.
See, something I'm not good at that she is, bro.
Exactly. But then that's the thing. Like, I want to speak to that in terms of like the dynamic of a relationship. I feel like there needs to be a definitive leader, but that's just because I think that, I mean, if you look at most situations, right, I feel like a lot of, how do I phrase this? Is like nowadays I feel like people are running from who they are naturally because they've been told that it's oppressive. So let's say you're in a relationship with a girl and she cooks most of the time, or she does the laundry most of the time, or like you guys have kids or you have like nieces or nephews and she's with them most of the time more than you are. That's not because she's being forced to do it or because, you're oppressing her. Women naturally are more nurturing. They're more like, they're more emotionally connected, right? They're better at that. Doesn't mean that there aren't men who are better at those things than there are women. But when I feel like a lot of people speak, especially me, I'm speaking in generalities. In the general sense, women most of the time are better than men at nurturing, at emotional connection, all that stuff. So why wouldn't you want your woman to be good at that, at least in the general sense? And then in terms of men, even if a man is the same size as a woman, right? You guys weigh the same. You're still 9 times out of 10 stronger than her. Yeah. So you're better at providing and protecting for her. If somebody breaks into the house, I guarantee you, any feminist on the planet, she's not going to get up and stand in front of her man and say, oh, no, get out, or I'm about to F you up with this. No, not saying that if she knows Taekwondo, she can't F somebody up. But the natural inclination of a man to get up and protect his woman is gonna take over every single time. And a woman, like I said, even the most feminist woman on the planet, she's not gonna expect anything less. If somebody breaks into the house and it's game time, who's gonna step up? No doubt is gonna be the man. Yeah. But that's just because we are stronger, we are more quote unquote dominant on a biological level. it just makes sense, right?
We're also in some ways a little bit less important, like as far as like the value that we can add, because women have the ability to continue life. You know what I mean? So like if I'm a man, right, I would sacrifice my life for like my wife's. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want my wife to sacrifice herself for me. I mean, she would be willing to, because like that's the kind of like love you got. But to your point, bro, it's like we're built for certain things.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that the world is so diverse now that people are just saying, hey, I don't want to have that feminine natural role. I don't want to have that natural masculine role. And they're not, and instead of just stopping at like that being the point, they're now trying to make it seem like everybody has to be that way. And if you're not that way, you're wrong.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, you can't tell somebody else how to live their life. Mm-hmm. If I want to be, you know, the macho man of the world, let me be it.
Yeah.
As long as I'm not like being an asshole to people.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That,
hurting
right?
people or whatnot.
Yeah.
So, but
no, to your point, all that when somebody bring it to the house, all that feminism stuff goes out the window.
Exactly, like
the window.
Yeah, they're not at that point. It's not I hate all men or men are trash. It is hey, deal with this man, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody presses your girl on the street. She's the biggest feminist in the world. She ain't going down with bro. She's not throwing down with him. She's gonna expect you to step up because that's just how it is. Mm-hmm. You guys are out to dinner. She not gonna pull out her wallet, which she shouldn't, right? The 9 times out of 10, I mean, relationships are different, right? Sometimes it's half and half, but in the general sense, most of the time, men are gonna be the ones who pull out their wallet. They're gonna be the ones to pay for it. It just makes sense.
It depends. I don't know. It depends on that. Because my girl, when we first met her, she was making more bread than me, and she had her own place, and I was living at home. You know what I mean?
But I think
so. Like I'm not gonna. It's situational.
Situational.
Case.
I think in the general sense, like if you kind of weigh it out, most men want to be that provider. So
yeah,
to speak.
They want to.
Not saying
I wanted to.
Exactly. Yeah. But that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing about a relationship in which y'all are down for each other.
Right.
Is if somebody is more up, then they can kind of fill in, and that's the thing about like these traditional roles are not so strict that even if just because I'm the man, if I ain't got no money, if you're down for me and you're gonna help me out and we're really in this together, you can help me out because you know that once I get on, that you're taken care of.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean but that's the
it's part of the courting process.
Exactly. You know,
so you don't want if you don't pull out your wallet on the first date, she gonna look at you different, bro.
Yeah,
100%. I swear you ain't getting a second date, bro.
100%, bro.
You making her pay the first date, that's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Or splitting the bill on the first date. To me, that's not really being a gentleman. You know, you asked her out. You know what I'm saying? So like just out of respect, you know, like just courtesy, first date, you definitely got to pay, bro.
Exactly.
That's just me. Like there's no way I'm let a woman pay on the first date if I asked her out.
Exactly. Yeah, but if y'all are, you know, a year, 2, 3 years in, and she wants to treat you, or
we should be splitting shit that in, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and if she want to treat you, or even if y'all want to split it, there's nothing wrong with that. But at least initially, she's not going out with you, like you just said. If you making her, you know, pay for the stuff, if you're, you know, if you're splitting it, no, that's just not the case. Y'all aren't gonna get far. But that's the expectation of the man, regardless of who the woman is. Woman can be super traditional or a heavy feminist. I hate all men, but this dude better pay for my food on the first date or else I'm not seeing him again. So what's weird to me is that we have these natural inclinations, but people want to run from them so bad because they've been told it's oppressive or that it holds them back or it puts them in a box. And I think that's crazy because if you're allowing other people to put you in a box and you're abandoning all traditionalism for that, that's problematic. I'm a traditional guy, but I'm not put in a box. If I can't do it right now, I just can't do it. That doesn't make me less of a man. That just means that we got to figure it out a different way. And if you're down for me, you're going to help me out in that regard. That don't seem too traditional to me, but that's fine because we're helping each other out. So I'm like, it is weird to me the way the world is going because everything just seems so chaotic now. But it's because we don't want to acknowledge what is natural. Don't mean you can't branch out and kind of make some pivots or do some audibles in a relationship if it works for y'all. But I mean, your nature's gonna take over almost every single time. Yeah. And if you try to fight against it so much, I mean, good luck.
You got to be polarized, bro. Yeah. There's got to be polarization there. You know what I'm saying? Like I've noticed that, man. Like the girl I'm with now, like just like even with the decisions things, or she wants to feel like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to get used to that because I would never had like a real like good relationship with nobody before. I'm a new man, bro. I don't. I put my old ways behind me.
Congratulations.
The dog's in the cage. You know what I'm saying? So thank you. So it's been interesting being able to learn a different person and like to come at it and approach it in a mature way. And to be having conversations with people.
Yeah.
I just don't think we have enough conversations anymore, man.
Yeah.
And truly trying to understand rather than to change somebody's mind. That's the problem, bro. And like feminists, dog. See, I don't know, man. Would you consider yourself a feminist?
Oh man, do I pull a Dave Chappelle? I am a feminist in the simplest form, in the sense that I believe that women should have rights. I believe women should have the right to vote. I believe women should have the right to. I believe women should have rights. So
that was just so funny. I believe women should have rights.
And I don't think women.
He said it like it was something revolutionary.
In that sense, yes, the biggest feminist there is. Because like I don't think
the biggest feminist there is. Don't worry, ladies, you can keep your rights. Don't worry, Josh has got you.
Hell yeah, I got you.
But what about like patriarchy? Things they say like that, like modern,
But that's what I'm saying is that when it starts to get to that, that's when I have a problem. Is when like feminists, their femininity is rooted in hating men. I don't like that. I don't like femininity that is rooted in upending the so-called patriarchy, because like I said, I still feel as though there's value in traditional relationships. I still feel as though there's value in family and family structure and things like that.
Yes.
I mean, like growing up, if you grow up without a dad, that don't mean you're gonna be some crazy person when you grow up. But what it is it made it a lot harder 9 times out of 10 for you to kind of grow up and to go through the things that you needed to go through. It probably puts you at a greater risk for going down the wrong path or whatnot. And I mean, I don't think that bringing a father into the fold and making sure that family is together is detrimental more than it would be if you go with the opposite. So but like I said, it's difficult because the idea of family is that, well, you have at least in that sense, in a patriarchal sense, is you have a head, which is usually the man or the father, and then you have a helper, not a slave or somebody that you're oppressing, but somebody who is next to you, who is helping you in this, which will be your wife or the woman, and then y'all got kids that you're taking care of, and it just works. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. Now, once again, if you are a man and you're abusing your woman or you're oppressing her in any form, that's different. You're just an abuser, and you need to go to jail.
And that's wrong no matter what.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But being the man in the relationship, calling the shots, whereas, hey, this is where we're going out to eat tonight, or, hey, I don't want you going there, that's not oppressive. I think that is you being a man. You saying, hey, and then if you go there, okay, well, now we have a problem, right? And I'm not going to hit you. I'm not going to call you out your name. I'm just telling you what I think the deal is, because I'm observing it from a different perspective. I'm looking out for your safety, right? I think that's a lot of things. I think that is the main reason why like guys might not want their girls going out to like clubs or something like that, right? Is because I don't know if you saw a video of Lil Durk's girl. I guess they broke up or something like that. Yeah. And she's like been outside or whatnot. And all I've been seeing on Twitter are these threads of half of the male population is like, nah, I wouldn't want her doing that if she was my girl. And the other half was like, well, I'm just a laid back boyfriend. I don't mind if she goes and does that. And to each his own. You do whatever you want to do.
So are they still together?
No, they just broke up.
They broke up.
Yeah, but people are debating if they were like, if this is my girl, I wouldn't want her doing this or not, which is weird to me.
If they were still together, they wouldn't. Well, she's broken up. He doesn't really get a say anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got. It's a tough pill to swallow.
It
You wouldn't want her to do that.
Yeah.
It makes you look kind of bad.
Yeah.
As soon as y'all break up, she out in the streets.
Yeah.
Can I get a couple weeks to mourn me? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right back outside. But and I think they do that on purpose to make you feel away.
Yeah, exactly.
They do that on purpose to make, and it's a part like probably she wants to have fun, sure, but a part of her is kind of like, okay, it's gonna get at him.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not. People can say what they want, but it's
human
not.
nature,
It's not
you know?
purely just. I just want to go have fun at this. It's I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go dance the way I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna be around the people I'm gonna be with, and then I'm gonna film it, and then I'm gonna put it on the internet to my 400,000 Twitter followers and my millions of Instagram followers, because I know he's gonna see it. Come on now.
You're doing it to get back at him a little bit.
Yeah.
Doing it for clout because you know y'all just broke up. It's a prime time to get some views on you because they run. That's the currency that they operate on.
Yeah.
Clout.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Especially like she got famous for being his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then she was able to smartly monetize that. I think she has like her own like skincare thing or whatever.
Something like that. Yeah.
Probably make some money off it. People like her, or whatever. So you know what I mean? If that was my girl. No, I would not like that at all, bro.
But that's the thing.
I don't understand how somebody could be cool with that.
Yeah, but that's the thing, bro. It's crazy because, and that's another one of the points that
Going out.
Tate was making, right? Is now he was going like, you better not go out to the club. Stay home and make me a sandwich when I get home. Like that's the type of time he was on. But being more modest about it, it was like, I don't want you going out because I know what the deal is. And I saw this one dude, and he made a great point. All he did was just flip it. He said, hey, he was doing a podcast with a panel of a bunch of girls, and he just flipped the situation. He's like, would you want your man going to a club, and he's an attractive man. Would you want him going to a club where there's a bunch of women who want to get at him, and they're all coming up to him? Hey, can I buy you a drink? Hey, what's your number? Yada, yada, yada. It don't matter what his answer is. It don't matter if he's giving into it or if he's rejecting all of it. Would you want your man going out and doing all that? Every single female, no. So why is it oppressive if a man says, hey, I don't want you going out to a club. I don't want you outside because I know what's going to happen. I know even if you reject everybody, I know that there's a bunch of thirsty men out there who are going to come after you and try to hit on you, try to go after you. And even if they find out that you have a boyfriend, they don't care.
Don't care
That's
at all.
what we know. So when you say, oh, it's oppressive or whatnot.
Where's he at? Where your man at?
Exactly. So I'm like, come on now.
He's not here.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on now. Like,
I don't even want them to try. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I don't want anybody to even try.
Exactly. It's like, why are you putting yourself in that? I can go on the highway. I can drive on the opposite side of the highway. There's a chance I might not die, but there's a chance I will die. And I mean, it was extremely unnecessary and very, very stupid. So in this situation, you can have fun with your friends, but you can have fun in a million different places. Why does it have to be at a club? Why do you have to wear a dress that is revealing? Why do you have to post it on social media? Why do you have to do those things in order to have fun with your friends?
Yeah.
I could go to Top Golf and have fun with my friends. I can go to Sky Zone and have fun with my friends. We can do that stuff, and it doesn't have to be at a club.
Right.
But like this whole thing that it's standards if women don't want their man doing something. It's oppressive and misogynistic if a man don't want his woman doing something. That's my problem, is that I don't want my girl out doing that, but I say it and, oh my goodness, like you're, holding her down or you're being oppressive or whatnot. It's like, get out of here, bro. Like,
they think that you're not holding her down at all. I think that, if you want to let your girl do that, that's cool. Let her do it. And, there's a lot of women out there that'll stay loyal to you and won't fold. And, hey, good for you. Yeah. My thing is, like, I don't have a problem with my girl going out to the club, like, maybe, like, once a month or something. But if you're going there every single weekend, multiple nights a week, I'm going to have a problem with that. Because, like, what are you gaining from that? Mm-hmm. How is this progressing our life forward? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, what kind of friends are you hanging around? What kind of influence are they going to have on you? Yeah. Those things matter. Going out and I've seen it happen so many times. Guys say they're okay with it, and then every single time that relationship never lasts, bro. No, never lasts. Mm-hmm. I've seen it so many different occasions. People in my family did it. Yeah. Even like marriages, and that's just like the beginning of the end. Because at that point, you got to ask her, why would you rather go out to a club with strangers than like stay home with you? They're supposed to be like, best friend type shit partners.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Why would she rather do that? or go out together. I'm cool. I'm big on that too. Let's go out together. Let's go out, stun on people. Let's get dressed up. You know what I mean? I'm big on that. 'Cause I'm social. I like to go out and have fun.
Yeah.
Maybe mix up our friend group, stuff like that. But when you're going out with your friends alone, a group of girls, that in a lot of dudes' minds, and I don't think they think about it like this. It's like in a lot of dudes' minds, it's like you're putting yourself out there essentially to get attention, maybe, and get, go home with me after the club. You know what I'm saying? And if that's really your girl, she won't even want to be in a position like that.
Oh my gosh. Literally, that's the point that I try to drive home so much is like if you want to do stuff when you're single, fine. Yeah. But I feel like if you're in a relationship and you're actually ready for that relationship, there's just things that you're not going to want to do anymore. And it's not to be boring, or it's not to, like, if you're the man, it's not to hold anybody down. It just makes sense. Is if you are mature enough to be in that relationship, there are things you're not going to want to do anymore. So if you still want to hold on to that life, maybe there's something out there that you just didn't, get to yet, and that you really want to. Well, then a relationship is not for you. But if on a lot of occasions, and for some men, they don't want their girls going out in that setting at all. It's like there should be nothing wrong with that. But like I said, that's when the hypocrisy steps in. A woman can want a man who's 6'4", 205 pounds of muscle, got a lot of money, all this stuff. Those are called standards for women, right? But a man can want somebody who's, like, got a certain body shape, right? Maybe they're a certain skin color. Maybe they got a certain type of hair, all the stuff like that. And then how they carry themselves. They don't want a woman who's always going out, because contrary to popular belief, we are representations of each other. Yeah. If my girl is going out and she's doing X, Y, or Z, I mean, especially if it gets back to me,
it looks bad.
How does that look on me? Yeah. And exactly, and
if you're doing something wild, maybe looks bad.
Exactly. It speaks to the type of stuff that I tolerate, the type of people that I get involved with, and yeah, public perception. I'm not saying you gotta walk around all day thinking about, oh my goodness, I wonder what this person thought about me. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, not
but
like that.
It still matters to a degree what people think about you when you go into certain spaces.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
Of course it does. Like that's like the whole dynamic of like humans, right?
Yeah.
And oh man, you made a point earlier I want to touch on. It was like you were talking about what you just said about with your girl going out, like she doesn't even want to do it.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah. Okay, yeah, is where I'm at. So like I think a lot of times I've noticed this when you're talking to people in general, but especially like women you're with, like you have to understand the meaning behind what they're saying. Like what are they really saying? You know what I mean? So like she says, I want to go out with my friends. I hear I want fun, I'm bored. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like a girl's not gonna come to you and be like, hey, I want to have some fun, do something fun and entertain me. Like, I think it's your job as a relationship as a man to provide some sort of excitement. You know what I mean? Be fun, be interesting, be entertaining. You know what I mean? And you'll get that from her as well.
Yeah.
So if she says she want to go out to the club, you don't really want her to, don't just say no and then go to bed. Like,
hell no.
Hell no. Just like go get some ice cream, bro. Like go kart and go mini golf and like do something fun. Spend some time with her. Like give her an alternative, not just telling her no, you can't do that. You know what I mean? Like because then it's like you're willing to understand her feelings. You're showing that, and you're taking action to give her kind of what she wants, and create an alternative to something that you don't want.
That's a good point. Definitely. Yeah, that definitely is a good point.
Free game.
Yeah, hell yeah. I think the biggest issue arises is if a man is doing that, if a man is providing for you, if a man is taking care of you, and you still desire that. Well, maybe a relationship, at least this one, is not for you. Because if a man, and like I said, once again, we go back to natural inclinations. We can talk about, how people want to either identify or how people want to be in relationships all day long. But the vast majority of relationships, a woman is gonna want her man to take care of her, and not like a child, but right. like look after her, provide for her physically and sometimes financially. I mean, if a man is doing that, right? If he's doing a lot of stuff he doesn't want to do to make sure that you're straight, and then he's making time to go on dates or to do all these things like that. I mean, I don't see the problem. And when a guy says, "Hey, I don't want you going to the club," and I mean, you're gonna get an attitude? I'm doing all these things for you, and I'm asking you to do something for me.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, that's the issue with watering down masculinity, kind of putting male issues under the bridge and kind of doing away with them, is that a man says, hey, I don't want you doing this, or I want you to do this, or whatever the case may be. And now what? He's oppressing you? Like, I'm doing all this, and I just don't want you to go to the club because you're opening yourself up to a world that we shouldn't even be a part of anymore because we should be here. Like, and that's a problem now, right? That's weird to me.
I think you just nailed it, bro. Like, the acknowledgement of the patriarchy in modern day feminism has made it so easy to just dismiss male opinion and male feelings.
Yeah.
And because it's like, oh, well, you just think that because you're a guy, you think you can get whatever you want or whatever the thing is, man. I think that, like, you know, in a relationship, who wouldn't want somebody to be able to know how to handle their shit?
Yeah.
You don't want somebody that can't handle their business.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that the Tate's message to a lot of men was like, learn how to handle your shit, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And stop making up excuses for yourself.
Exactly.
Because ain't nobody's gonna come and save you.
No.
Nobody is.
No, not at all. Man.
Yes. It's interesting that they don't like the message he's sending. I do think Tate miscalculated with the things he said, and before, a lot of things he got in trouble for were things he said before he got super popular.
Yeah.
Because I used to be in like the Hustlers University thing. I did join it. Yeah. It had this good information in it, but like I just never really like. I wasn't gonna just keep paying $50 a month.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna do that, but I just kind of want to see what it's about. You know, I was deep into the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And it actually, one thing it said on there, he had like a bit about like the personal development, personal finance, all that. It had like a ton of good information in there. But Tate's mistake was that by allowing people to clip up his old stuff and like reframe it and take it out of context, it made him look a lot worse than what he was.
Yeah.
And once he blew up and like those things came to light and created so much outrage, he doubled down on it.
Yeah.
Instead of saying like, hey, you know, I was saying those things to gain notoriety, views, just being super authentic about what it was, because that's the truth.
Yeah.
He was like so up in his own ego and stuck to the character that he never met nobody at the middle. You know, I think if you would have to some point kind of conceded a few of the points, he wouldn't have got deplatformed and maybe he wouldn't be in jail right now.
Yeah.
And I know that people have a lot of like, maybe you could have like a respect for like the sticking to the character and not folding to what he called the Matrix, but you know, it ain't working out too well for him right now. And I think that was his mistake, was that he doubled down on the misogyny instead of just like admitting that, hey, some things I said were a bit, you know, over the top and out there. I don't really feel that way. Here's what I really meant. And then his message wouldn't be as lost. So that's the one mistake I think Tate made, was that he doubled down on it, which is true to his word. You know what I mean? Tate's not a guy that's going to back down from anybody. Yeah. But I think it was a miscalculation, a misstep right there, because that put a lot of people against him.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think that it's a blessing and a curse whenever you kind of adopt a certain character in like a creation space. It's like it can put you on, but it can be the same thing that takes you down if you aren't aware of what it can do. Now, if somebody like me, I'm 22 years old, I know that a lot of the stuff he says, he is animated to get views. Right. I don't take it to heart. Like if he's, you know, I'm not even gonna repeat some of the stuff he says.
Yeah, like crazy.
Exactly, but like this, like some of the stuff he says, I'll laugh at it if I think it's a joke because I know it's blatant, like it's 100% objectively a joke, or I'll just brush it off because I'm like, okay, if that's how he really feels, I don't agree with it. I'll move on, and if I see something I'll agree with, I'll take that information in, right, and I'll do that. Now, once again, the issue is that like a lot of kids watch him. They're impressionable. You know, they might look at that and say, you know, that's true to who he is, so that's true to who I want to be. My counter to that is that if you look on a lot of the terms of service, 13-year-olds are like, I mean, like kids under 13 aren't even supposed to be on social media. So I'm looking at the parents. Why are you allowing your kid to be on social media? Are you just giving it to them so they can leave you alone? To me, that seems problematic in a lot of ways because you don't know what it is they're watching. Why is an 8-year-old watching Andrew Tate, right? Even the stuff that the good stuff that he says, he's still saying it with a cigar in his mouth and machetes in the background. An 8-year-old shouldn't be watching that. 9, 10-year-olds shouldn't be watching that.
But you can make that argument about a lot of people on the internet.
And that's what I was saying. And that's what I was about to say is like I said, I watched a video of Lil Nas X. I think he might have brought it up one time where it's like this dude is twerking on the devil. Now, faith is a serious thing for a lot of people. It's serious to me. Right. So when I look at that, I'm like I pay no mind to it because I'm like, I know I'm aware enough to not take it to heart.
It's nonsense.
Exactly. If he does that for money or whatnot, I mean, God help him, right? Because that it is what it is. But for a lot of other people, a lot of younger people, and especially a lot of older people who might look at that and be offended, I don't see all these social media platforms going after him and saying, hey, all these people are impressionable and this is a bad look. You should probably not do that. No, he got celebrated for it. Sam Smith at the Grammys, the performance that he did you see that? Mm-hmm. So he dressed up like, I guess he has a new song about, it's called Unholy or something like that.
Okay.
And he dressed up like the devil and had like a bunch of red lights and pyro and all that stuff like that. And basically did like a satanic performance or whatnot. And he got celebrated and praised for it. And I'm like, I mean, whatever, right? If that's what you want to do, I don't agree with it. But what I don't see is all these platforms going after him and saying, hey, there are people who are impressionable or who might be offended by this. You probably shouldn't do that because you're kind of offending an entire group of people. No, they praise them for it.
Yeah.
So I look at somebody like Andrew Tate and I'm like, yeah, a lot of the stuff that he says is probably problematic because if you're, got kids or just impressionable young adults or teenagers or whatnot, they might look at that and it's a problem. But the fact that all of these companies, especially in one weekend, they did it in one weekend. They took him off these platforms as a result of maybe some of the stuff that he said before or more recently, because he's influencing people. That's everybody on the internet. That's everybody who makes music. And a lot of it is not good, right? But the problem.
Yeah, no, it really isn't. That's you want to talk about influencing negativity.
Exactly. Like, are you kidding me? Like, a lot of the, bro. And once again, this is the Josh is anti-black. I really stopped listening to rap like that. Not because I don't think that these people aren't talented, but when I listen to it, it's like speaking to me. Music ain't just something that's on the background for me now. It affects my mood sometimes, and sometimes I feel weird after I listen to a song, and I listen and I figure out what I'm listening to, and I'm like, man, like, this stuff is real detrimental. I just got done listening to 5 minutes of a dude talking about how big his gun is,
right?
How he's gonna go shoot somebody.
Nothing good.
Exactly. So I started listening to J. Cole, Corday, all of them. They're fantastic because they rap about like real
conscious
stuff.
Rap.
Exactly. They're aware. They're not trying to put on this facade like they made it out the hood, yet they're still talking about it every single time because it's what sells. No, they're poetic when they rap. They're smooth. I love their music. Yes. Exactly.
And Corday's doing TED Talks. See that?
Bro, yes, bro. Bro, he is so dope.
Yeah, he is.
The last album that he dropped, I can recite that whole thing.
Really?
Yes.
I need to listen to that one again.
Bro, it is fantastic, but it is so it's so poetic. But it is a step up from what I used to listen to. I used to listen to YoungBoy every single day. I even saw something about him. I saw a video from him like a month ago about how he talked about how he wished, I don't know specifically what he said, but it was along the lines of how he's going to try to kind of change course because he don't like how he's influenced people with a lot of the stuff that he's said in his music before.
Really? He
which
said
is
that.
Fantastic.
Good,
yeah. But I'm like, I listened to him so much back then, and I'm like, Drew, what the? That don't make no sense. Say something in short. Face down to the ground. I'm like, dang, bro. I just listened to that like 20 times, and now I'm trying to go
with
be
a whole lot of money.
I'm like, it's
hard.
It's a bop, but I'm like, it's the older I get, it's speaking to me, and it's not good for me. But
no, I agree with you, bro.
But YouTube ain't gonna take his stuff down, right? The record label, they're not gonna pull it because it's influencing people and it's detrimental. No, but a guy comes along. Yes, some of the stuff he says is not the best, but the other half is fantastic. Guess what? All these influential social media companies, they're gonna ban him. So then, if somebody first hears about Tate 2 months ago, their only impression is that he's a misogynist or that he says a bunch of bad things. They are void of any good thing, any motivational thing he's ever said that could help them.
Right.
That's a problem.
Their philosophy is more like, I don't care how many good things he says, saying anything bad about women any kind of way negates all that. Yeah. And we're just going to cancel him for that.
Yeah.
And that's to me, that's not a great precedent to set, because like if you don't allow people to talk and just cancel them, you put them in an echo chamber. Those ideas fester, get radicalized, and then you see some crazy stuff happen.
Yeah.
If you think somebody's stupid or like think that they're saying is dumb, let them talk and then talk back to them and help them and educate them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your response to ignorance can't be like to just shut them down.
Yeah.
The response to ignorance has to be education.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people. I think a lot of people just aren't really aware of like the issues. Like you mentioned, thinking about like rap and stuff, right? Like I only do rap now in the gym, really, or like conscious rap in my car. But like when I'm working out, get motivated, get hyped, because I can get almost channel my anger.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It almost brings out anger in you, dog.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's interesting that it does do that, because I think it's a reflection of the culture. Because due to like a lot of systemic things, there is a lot of anger. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Ton of anger, righteous anger. But it's a healthy feeling. But is that helpful?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
it's like it's interesting to see how the world will progress, because rap is not just like an American thing anymore. It's worldwide.
Yeah.
You got like British kids rapping things like that. You know what I mean? Like little
knife fights.
Arab kids. Oi, you know what I mean? Type stuff.
Yeah, straight up, man.